The New York Jets just robbed the NFL as Darren Mougey just made his second amazing trade of this New York Jets season and of his Jets tenure. And fans are fired up over this move as the Jets just made the perfect decision. We're going to break down this trade, talk about what happened, who was traded, and why overall this is a phenomenal trade for the New York Jets for multiple different reasons. We're going to waste no time jumping right into the video, guys. But real quick, if you are part of that 68% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, what are you doing, man? It is the trade deadline. There is a lot of New York Jets news, and they just made their first trade deadline deal. And it's a pretty big one, and we're going to go over this trade and why it is absolutely perfect for the New York Jets for multiple different reasons as they just absolutely scammed the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the shirt I'm wearing actually is fairly Philadelphia Eagles colors, but luckily we got the green going on the background. We're all good right now, guys, but let's jump right into it. There is a lot to talk about with the Jets right now as Darren Mougey has already made one in-season trade, acquiring Jarvis Brownlee for effectively nothing, and now he just cooked once again for this New York Jets team because, look, the Jets, we knew a lot of moves were going to happen, specifically when trading away veteran players, considering the fact that, look, at the end of the day, they're 1-7. We know they're not going to make the playoffs. However, they do have a chance to get some assets back, and they just did that in a very nice way, while also being very aware of the salary cap as well, something we are going to dive into later on in this video, so you want to make sure to stay tuned. But as some of you may have seen, the newest move the Jets have just made are sending cornerback Michael Carter and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Eagles in exchange for John Metchie and a 2027 6th-round pick, according to sources. Now, when it jumps off the table, you might wonder, why does this trade make such a big deal? What does it matter that the Jets acquired John Metchie? And also, we just traded away Michael Carter, a longtime slot corner who a couple of years ago was widely regarded as the best slot cornerback in football. What are we doing? Well, this is exactly what the New York Jets are doing. Look, Michael Carter did not have a good contract with the New York Jets anymore. Once upon a time, it was good. He was the highest paid slot corner in the NFL for a reason. He was the best slot corner in football for back-to-back seasons. However, a back injury really took a lot out of him, and Michael Carter has struggled to really be any sense of solid this season whatsoever. And the Jets, they were still paying him. Fans were getting very upset over the fact that the Jets were paying Michael Carter to effectively not be the best slot corner or even be an efficient slot corner whatsoever in the NFL anymore. However, he was still getting that top slot corner money. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on Michael Carter, and we are witnessing a move that just saved the Jets a ton of money, brought in a young wide receiver as well for this team in John Metchie. For a team that currently is dealing with an injury to Garrett Wilson, they now have another young option for Justin Fields to throw the ball to, and also to add some more speed to this New York Jets team as well. I absolutely love this move. Now look, looking at Michael Carter throughout his career with the Jets, he was very good at first. He really was phenomenal. He was getting some tackles. The tackle numbers were not bad whatsoever. He got 2 picks in 2022, establishing himself as the best slot corner in football. 2023, he was as well. Over the past 2 seasons, he's dealt with injuries, and he has fallen off an absolute cliff in regards to covering the slots. He hasn't been efficient. He's been letting up a lot of passes, not tackling the same way, and is just really not doing the same ever since coming off a back injury. However, he was getting paid top dollar to do this, and that contract still goes on for a couple more years. So the New York Jets, they just dodged an absolute bullet here. This is huge for this team because now the Jets, instead of going out there, instead of looking for ways to just continue to supplement this team while giving a bad contract, they get a bad contract off their books, get a nice young wide receiver onto their team, who also, we're going to talk about the financial implications of that in a second, but on top of all that, they also upgraded draft pick in the day 3 picks, which is something not to sneeze at as well. Now look, as Zach Rosenblatt mentioned, as for John Metchie, he hasn't played much for the Eagles, only 4 catches for 18 yards, but the Jets desperately need to take swings at wide receiver. Minus Garrett Wilson, it's a group that needs talent in a bad way. He's only 25 years old and will be a free agent at the end of the year. He'll get playing time with the Jets too. The Jets are going to see if they have anything in Metchie. And Samini said that John Metchie is basically a throw-in. He's in the final year of his contract and will be an unrestricted free agent in March. The former Texan only had 4 receptions with the Eagles this season. But that's not why this matters. What matters is the Jets. Look, if John Metchie doesn't perform, boo-hoo. What does it matter? No money. We don't owe him anything. He could play for the Jets for these next couple of games, or again, he's going to get reps. He's going to be in that game. He's going to be getting targets. And the Jets are going to see, hey, is there some untapped potential with a 25-year-old nice young talent at wide receiver? Because guess what? If there is, this is an absolute steal in a huge way. Get money off the books, get a nice young wide receiver onto this team. On a team that thus far, the Arian Smith experiment has not worked out at all. So bringing in another nice young wide receiver next to Garrett Wilson is absolutely huge. No matter how Metchie plays, he's not going to to be commanding a whole lot of money in free agency as well. So the Jets have a very good chance to also bring back Metchie on a bargain deal, save a ton of money that they also freed up in cap space by trading Michael Carter away. This is exactly the type of moves we want to see out of a team that's trying to rebuild. This is exactly what we want to see Darren Mougey go out there and do. Fans should be thrilled about how Darren Mougey attacked this today, because you look at Mougey, you look at everything he's planned on doing with this New York Jets team, and what we're seeing is a guy who went out there, made a very clutch signing already, or made a very clutch move by acquiring Jarvis Brownlee. So it's not like the Jets are short on corners whatsoever. But on top of that, now we also see just a young receiver with potential. Now, Metchie only has 4 receptions for 18 yards this season, but throughout his career with Houston, he did actually get some more reps. He never started a game. Well, he started 3 games with the Texans in 2024, getting 254 yards, which is 10.6 yards per reception for his 24 receptions. He also got 11 first downs. He was getting 19.5 yards per game, and the Jets, they could use any help they get. So Metchie does give them an interesting piece, too, to add on to this team. Metchie gets a chance to perform, so this is huge for him. This is how rebuilding teams should be operating, which is why I absolutely love this. We look at the Jets' offense right now. We see the wide receivers. Their number one receiver is obviously Garrett Wilson, who is currently out with an injury. Right behind him, we see John Metchie as their other guy. I mean, Tyler Johnson also started. Johnson had a nice game for himself as well against the Bengals, getting 64 yards on 3 receptions, also bringing a touchdown. So we saw Tyler Johnson perform, but he was their wide receiver 1 that game. Now John Metchie shows up and gives them another good wide receiver, who, if Wilson's out after the bye week, if he's out for that Week 10 matchup, man, it's a pretty good wide receiver room to what it was going to be without Garrett Wilson. So I'm really, really excited about that factor as well. And on top of that, we look at the defensive side of this depth chart, and we know that they still have corner help. I mean, yeah, you need to find a new slot corner because you got Sauce. He'll be back from that concussion. Do you try to move Quantez Stiggers there and get some value out of him? I mean, Azariah Thomas has looked quite nice on the right side on that other cornerback. We do see Brandon Stevens, who, as I've said before, I do expect to move to that free safety role. And then you have Jarvis Brownlee take over as your starting cornerback next to Sauce Gardner. And we then see a guy, we see Brandon Stevens move to free safety, and on top of that, we see Stiggers or Azariah become a starter, just having one of them cover the slot, which honestly is a really exciting situation for the Jets. They still have some cornerback depth. They get more wide receiver depth. They get an upgrade on a pick, and they get a bad contract off the books, a contract that was once not bad, but a now bad contract off the books. This is how you make trades as a rebuilding team. Look, I was very critical of Darren Mougey, and still there has been some situations. The signings have not been super inspiring. However, both trades he's made in this Jets season have been. I am starting to really turn a corner with Darren Mougey. I'm really excited with the moves that he made, and I'm really excited going forwards on the New York Jets and seeing everything that they are going to be doing next. There's going to be a busy trade line. We got a whole lot more updates coming at you every single day, so make sure you're subscribed, have those post notifications on so you don't miss a single video. Like this video. Have a wonderful day, guys. A+ trade. Go Jets.